Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thought. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are trying to give you some basic information related to meditation practice, and at the same time try to help you to develop your conventional life. So as ordinary people we are, always we need to grow in this conventional environment. So that conventional growth should facilitate, help for your spiritual development. Always remember that your conventional life and your spiritual life is not separated. The both are interconnected. So especially when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, it is not just talk about only conventional life. It is not limited to conventional life. It's basically, it's deeply connected to the truth. So whoever willing to know the truth, so whoever looking for truth, they always find the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha's teaching is something that always connect to human. It is not about something superpower or supernatural power or from unknown, unseen place came to us. So whatever the Buddha taught, it's really about our human life. And so if anybody willing to know, if anybody willing to grow, that always, they always find the path towards the Buddha's teaching. But it's not for everybody. Because people have different opinions, different way, they have their own viewpoint. But if the person look their own salvation, their own freedom, their own liberation, their own growth, their own development, and then the Buddha's teaching will help for them. So when it comes to our life, Why we need to practice meditation? Because there are many ways that we have more information than any other time. So our knowledge, our understanding, our IQ level is more higher than any other time. But still, when it comes to our deeper inner experience, what we experience as life is kind of like a struggle. It doesn't matter what we know in this conventional world, our life day by day, going away from us. We are losing our life. We are slowly separating from this everything. Breath by breath, moment by moment, step by step, we are separating from this everything and reaching out to the graveyard. So we have to remember, even though we walk on this earth, it's the ground for us. It facilitates for us to stand. But one day, this ground going to become the roof. What does that mean? Because when we buried under the ground, that this ground become the roof. It's going to happen for all of us. No one can stop it. And from during this life, in between this all, that we are keep running, and there is no end. So this itself is a struggle, and that is why there is an unsatisfactory nature, and there is a selfless desires, that self-centered desires, even though there is no self. And there is nothing that we can hold as permanent, but still we believe everything look like permanent. See that the true nature is there, but still we are far away from it. We cannot absorb it. We heard everything impermanent. We heard selflessness. We heard that there is suffering, but still when it comes to us, even though we are in the middle of that, we are part of it, we cannot get it. Still somehow we think there is something belong to me. There is some kind of satisfaction. There is some kind of things going to be there permanent. So like that we always have some understanding. Nothing wrong about it. But still you have to remember then why we cannot get into that ultimate truth yet, even though it is there. So when it comes to our personal life, each and every person has their own way to reasoning and understanding things. So basically, there are 5 bases of belief. There are 5 bases of belief. What are those? Saddha, Ruchi, Anusava, Akara Parivitakka, Ditti, Nicca, Nakkanti. So those are the very key element. When it comes to believe something, when we know something, those are the very key factors hold us to that what we know. So what is Saddha? Saddha means faith or conviction. And sometimes we have the faith to believe things. Before we go into these five things, always you have to remember all these five experience, that all these five belief happens, governs with the self-centered mind, self-centered idea. So the faith, conviction. So when we sometimes believe something, when we follow something, when we study something, sometimes we trust it, we believe it as something good. Not any experience there, but your believing take you to hold it. So your believing you take as the truth. Maybe that come from even the different background also, because your parents used to believe, your society used to believe, and now it is there and you believe it. Other than that, there is nothing else. So then look into yourself. How many things that you have in your life, you just believe, no any other understanding. So other one is the ruchi. So saddha is the first one, faith or the conviction. The second one, ruchi. Ruchi means inclination or preference. That sometimes we individually attract to things, we are biased to things, we like things, and because of that, certain ideas, certain behavior, we think it is right. So then just imagine, because that what you like, maybe it is a good taste for you, it brings a good taste for you, it brings the good satisfaction for you, you are like it, you feel comfortable about it, but that doesn't mean you can take it as the truth. But still sometimes people attract to things because of many reasons, for certain ideas, people believe it as truth. So one is people have the faith, conviction, and the trust, so they believe it as truth. And other one is inclination or preference, or your personal experience with kind of like you feel comfortable, you attract to it, it has a good taste, and then because of that, you believe it as a truth. The third one is called the anusava. Anusava. So anusava means that whatever came from oral tradition or that repetition, especially when it comes to culture, tradition, so especially religious things, the mostly came from orally. Even the Tripitaka, before it written down, it came orally. So because of that you heard, because that your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors, your forefathers, or because your friends, your society uttered it, repeat it, chant it, you can't believe it as truth. So there are many mantras. There are many chanting. People just keep chanting. Why? Because the traditionally, that oral practice we used to do. And then we also keep doing it. So that's why, that's how some people hold it to truth. They believe it as the truth. So now three things. Shraddha, conviction, or because of the faith, that trust, you believe some things. Inclination, preference, and maybe your personal experience. It has a good taste, you like it, and you are emotionally biased, and it very attractive, and then you believe about it. You take it as the truth. The third one, the oral practice. Traditionally, that whatever keep repeating, when you heard anything many times, then by the time you take it as the truth. So the next one is called the akara parivitakka. Akara parivitakka means speculative thinking, reasoning, like when it comes to science, technology, this logical, intellectual reasoning, logical decisions, rational thoughts. So those are sometimes we take as truth. But when it comes to that, if you look very carefully, those are also by the time, by generation to generation, maybe it change. But in our day-to-day life, so if you believe it something as truth, maybe for the moment you feel good, but it never going to take you to the ultimate truth. So the fifth one, ditti nijja nakkanti, view or reflection upon views. So what does that mean? Sometimes as a society, that according to the science, according to the research, the personal understanding, that we get into certain views, and because of that view we hold, we believe it as truth. Political views, social views, economical views, we have a viewpoint. Because of that, but that viewpoint is basically self-centered. So if you question yourself that regarding your view, especially political view, and sometimes why you believe that, maybe you don't have that much understanding, but you believe it as the right thing. It as the truth. So like that, these 5 qualities create our day-to-day understanding, and those are the we hold as the truth, like ordinary people. Faith, or the conviction, or the trust, inclination, or personal preference, oral tradition, or repetition, speculative thinkings, reasoning and analyzing, those kind of things, or view, reflection upon views. And sometimes we follow the other's view and we then take it as our view. So those 5 things. Just going with these 5 things will never take you to reach to the higher truth. But we have to remember those are the 5 bases that we are already here. Those are the 5 things that we already have. But now from this point, if you are willing to reach to more higher truth, if you are willing to become more better person with the ultimate truth, understanding ultimate truth. So this 5 bases will help you to have a very conventional life. You believe other people believe, you have the view like other people have, you have you believe the truth as that whatever orally bring. So this create a very conventional, comfortable environment. But this is not going to take you beyond that. So then how you can go beyond this? That is the key point. Because we know so far we have this knowledge, and that is not enough for us to get into more higher, better place. So that is where you need the direct experience. So even though this all, you follow these 5 bases with the self-centered mind, when you keep repeating what happened, your self-centered idea becomes stronger. But when it comes to your direct experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, if you become very mindful regarding that, what you experience, and that create a certain clarity in you, because in that very moment, your mind is not biased to any mental formations or you are not biased to any preconditioned mind. So that is where this direct experience or clear comprehension or the sati sampajanya will sharp your understanding and start to show you things as it is. So in between that experiencer and the experience, subject and object, in between this, there is no bias, there is no colors. So because of that, you are capable to see things as it is. So when you practice the tranquility meditation, this is what happens. Tranquility meditation means you calm down your mind. You allow your mind to settle down. Once the mind settles down, what happens? It's not going to interfere with your experience and create thoughts or ideas. It's not going to jump over the moment of experience. It's not going to, your mind, when the mind calm down, relax, when you have the tranquility state of mind, your mind not going to overtake or jump over the contact. So then you are capable to see it. So once you become very mindful regarding the contact in that very moment, you are capable to see this outside eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind objects as it is. It doesn't matter whatever you believe about it. It doesn't matter whatever you follow. It doesn't matter whatever your rational thinking about it, logical understanding about it. But now in this very moment, you experience, you are directly yourself, you experience. You are very, very independent. You are not biased to anything. Directly, personally, you are experiencing. So when you are personally, directly experience, the contact happen with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that whatever you understand in that environment is not going to take you to any kind of believing or any kind of followings, because that is a direct experience. So that's why it doesn't matter that what you think about something, when you experience it, it is totally different. And other thing is, when it comes to the very conventional level of life, this is very important key point. That is the very nature of conventional life. So now when you come to tranquility mind, you calm down, you have the undisturbed mind. So then with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that whatever you experience, you are capable to see things as it is. So, but when we go with the personal experience most of time, personal experience different person to person. So it's different. That is the very nature of tranquility, the conventional world. So what you experience, not going to experience, I cannot experience the same way. It is different. So this understanding help for you to not to argue, not to go against with anybody's experience. So that also allow you to tranquilize with that. So that is where the acceptance come, appreciation come, respect come, rather than arguing, overtaking people's ideas. Because now I understand, even though I experience this like this, you are not going to experience it the same way like what I experience. So once you know yourself, also that what you experience is not the experience going to happen to another person, then you are not going to argue about it. You become more listener. You start to understand what other person understands. So in that way, in the conventional level, you build up a very clear bridge in between that each other, rather than resisting. So that also one of the result that you can gain out of the tranquility meditation. But when it comes to vipassana, it is totally different. So now, but first you have to have this background. Once the mind tranquilizes, once the mind start to recognize things as it is, from that point, once your mind becomes sharp and clear, and now subject and object become very clear, then you can see the change. So the change belongs to ultimate truth. So you and me both experience the change. But conventionally, that what we experience, things as it is may be different. But the change is not different like that. Unsatisfactory nature is not different like that. Selflessness is not different like that. Those are very same. So then see how the shift happen from common ground to higher level. Tranquility state we experience person to person, it is very, very different. It's not going to be the same. But when it comes to ultimate level, the vipassana level, that what we experience in permanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, for our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that all the object, for inner object and the outer object, object and subject, everything in belong to that impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. So my experience the same, and whatever you experience out of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, your subject and or the object, that all belong to impermanence, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. And then the entire humanity, that whoever born in this world or whoever live in this world or whoever going to live in the future, that everybody experience this, even not only in this world, wherever in this entire universe. If the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness govern, that everywhere this impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness going to be there. That is ultimate truth. So then always remember, you can enter to that ultimate truth. First, you have to slowly shift your mind from this conventional ground to tranquility state. From the tranquility state, you have to go into the vipassana level. So it is a step-by-step process. So the very common ground is for all of us, these 5 bases for belief: faith, conviction, inclination or preference, and the oral tradition or repetition, and speculative thinkings or reasoning, and other one is view, reflection of upon views. So though this is the very common ground. So but from that common ground, you start to develop direct perception, direct experience, clear comprehension. Then you go to the tranquility state. And from that tranquility state, still that what you experience not going to be the same like others. Even the tranquility state, the very nature is your experience going to be different than my experience. So like that. But still now you are more free from your self-centered view. But that common ground always depend on the self-centered idea or I am, self-centered identity. But now, in the tranquility state, now you are more free from that self-centered idea. So that is why you see things as it is. And from that point, once you have the direct perception or the clear comprehension to see things as it is, then you go to the vipassana level and you understand how things come to be as they are. Once you start to observe your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, object and subject, how it come to be as it is, what you see the change. So that is common to everybody. That whatever related to my 5 hindrance, form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, and wherever anybody, that if anywhere this form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, the change, impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness going to be there. So then whatever I experience with my eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, the experiencer and object and subject both change. Your object and subject both change. So like that, everywhere, this is ultimately, this is truth for any time, everywhere, for everybody. Once you understand it, your mind has a nature to go higher, and once the mind go higher, it's not going to come back. So that's why when you go towards the truth, there is a possibility that you're going to get the ultimate truth, but you have to look for the truth. So then always look into yourself and see, are you willing to know the truth? Do you want to know the truth? Then you can find it for sure. So that is why the Buddha's teaching still exists in this world. After this 2600 years, why still it like this? Because still there are people. There are some people, they are really look for the truth. So then it is up to you. If one day, maybe not today, maybe one day, if you want to know what is the real truth, what is the ultimate truth, then you have to come to this lesson. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say so patveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So bring attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area, and just allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens, don't try to maintain it, don't interfere with it, don't involving with the inhalation, exhalation. Just allow it to happen naturally as it is. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. We say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata cha ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi. අත්තායයිමාය පටිපත්තියා ජාති ජරාව්‍යාදි මරණම් හා පරිබුංජිස්සාමි ඉදම්මේ පුඤ්ඤ කම්මං ආසවක්ඛයා වහං හෝතු සබ්බ දුක්ඛා පමුංචතු. Bless you.